Hello, friends. This is
Three Friends Talk.
I'm Dr. Courtney.
I'm Dr. Leah.
This is Dr. Sylvia.
And we are
Three Friends Talk.
Hello.
Hey, y'all. Oh. What's it? Oh.
Sorry. Too much for the show.
I just told her.
Yes, we had a whole conversation all about appropriate music. I said, don't do what I did last week. And here we go.
What did you do, girl?
I played Meg the Stallion Savage remix. And it was,
Oh, Beyonce, that should have been fine. So we're together.
Hey, friends. It's another episode of Three Friends Talk. And
we're together?
Yeah, we are. We are together.
Sylvia, you are here in spirit.
Yes, we're going to put a little doll
right here.
We love you.
Y'all. They know what is my biggest pet peeve?
What's the biggest pet peeve?
Getting left out.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I thought it was like people hanging up on the phone or something.
Nobody does that anymore.
Okay, we got past that. You are not left out, Sylvia.
She is right here. Friends, chime in. Let her know how much we love her.
I don't need them to know. I don't need them to know.
Friends, chime in.
How many times does she be going on trips without us, girl?
That's my problem. You always complaining about me going on trips. They are on a mother-son trip. They didn't tell me about.
I can't tell her.
You told me last minute. Leah had been told me because she knows how I am. And then they pop up with matching shirts. What is that?
Let me tell you about this shirt though, Sylvia. So this is the first weekend of July coming up, and where would we be typically? In New Orleans for Essence Fest. So we got this shirt at an Essence Fest weekend. Literally, what was it? 2 years ago?
And why don't I have mine? If it was 2 years ago,
because you were supposed to get one, and I don't think you were with us, but we heard him and picked him up from one of them side street vendors. And had I known, you would have never got one. I would just picked up the little $5 shirt for you.
Oh, I thought y'all had one waiting for me. I didn't realize.
I don't remember that part, but we got you.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
I'm gonna mail it to it. Don't worry about it.
I don't really like. I have a personal problem with hijacking the Black Lives Matter message. So people say, I just like the purity of it. Black Lives Matter, not Black clowns matter. Black shoes matter. Black pharmacists matter. I don't really. So I'm a purist.
You're gonna be happy when you get the shirt.
You're
gonna be real happy.
I'm gonna donate it.
I don't believe
back to the movement.
I don't believe you, Dr.
It's okay. But I do have something for you. On all the little trips I've been on, I've collected something for each and every one of you. I got to give Leah hers today.
You bought it?
I did. And I will be sending you a little trinket, Sylvia.
So,
friends, thank you.
When we travel, we always it's something I have to pick up at every location. It's got to be the same thing, something you might say, wherever I am. And Dr. Sylvia, she also likes a certain trinket. Can you, in the comments, can you tell us what you think the trinket might be? What do you think Dr. Sylvia likes? What do you think I like? Dr. Courtney,
what do I have to have? Yes,
thing?
I do.
What is your special thing? I can't recall.
Well, I can't tell you right now. We got to see what they put in the chat. Okay.
I know what you.
And
really.
Oh, okay.
Right. Okay. So we're gonna tell her at the end of the show.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I'll show mine. My collection's right over here. So
show us some things from your travels.
Hey friends, let us know you're here in the comments. Let us know where you calling in from. Let me know if you have a Black Pharmacist Matter shirt as well.
She's so mad. Okay, so my little intro song, I have a little story behind that.
Okay.
I played Meg the Stallion Thought Shit. And the reason is because I went to one of the best dance classes in Atlanta last night. It was the grand opening of Shamika's Healed class. It is she's a young Black woman who's danced with a lot of celebrities, and I've been trying to get into her class for 2 years. So if you look at my stories on Doc CV Jones, I put up there how excited I was. I'm going to share it on Three Friends Talk, but it was a huge class, about 60 ladies.
Wow.
And since I'm already on a dance team, it was another one of my dance teammates that joined me for this new experience, and we had to dance in heels.
You gonna show me the dance?
I am. It was off Meg Thot shit, actually.
Okay.
So it was very risque, and I did my thing. But could you imagine? Guess who I felt like coming out of this dance class? Now, I had 25, 30-year-olds in there.
Sierra.
What? What?
You felt like Sierra?
No, I didn't feel like Sierra. I usually feel like Beyonce, but I did not feel like Beyonce.
Who did you feel like?
I was none other than Aunt Viv from the Prince of Bel-Air. Yeah.
So I hope that our friends recall the episode
she
where
did the little bop.
Aunt Viv went back to, it was her passion. And she wanted to go to a dance class, and most of the people in the class were younger. So at first she felt a little out of place, and then she got her groove back.
I didn't feel out of place when I got there, but when they started dancing, I didn't realize it was already an intermediate class,
now,
right?
That's the song you should have played was dun 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 dun. Everybody dance now.
And I would have got on with it, but they had been dancing in heels for a while, so they had stilettos, like they were bad. These girls were getting it, and I had on my 2.5-inch booties and was struggling, but I couldn't let it show. So it's like I was in the inside. So when I got out the room, I literally put up my church finger and like went out the studio and had to get some fresh air. Yeah, it was rough, but your girl will be back. And if I get the routine down, I will be sharing this with everybody because I will have accomplished something really, really big.
I love it. I'm glad that everybody knows that Courtney is a dancer and she loves it. That's her self-care. So I'm glad that you're taking on new horizons.
Thank you.
Hey, Uncle Clint. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey.
Hello.
Okay, so BET Awards were the other night. Did y'all watch?
I caught a glimpse of it.
I thought it was good. I really liked I thought the lighting, the
production,
graphics, the production, I thought it was spot on this year. So I got to give it to them.
What'd you think about Taraji?
I thought she did a good job. I'm not gonna lie. I guess her first time hosting, I was like, she was okay, but I thought it was good. I really did. I liked her little interaction with Method Man. I did like that.
I liked everything about Method Man.
Okay. So, but I did like, I think I was really excited about Silk Sonic.
Oh, okay.
Who? Yeah, that's my favorite little duo. I don't know who she talking about. Who?
Me? Go ahead.
You.
Were you on the award show?
She was like, sit.
Oh, you thought you were on the show? Okay.
Don't worry about it.
The DMX tribute was cool. Mm-hmm. That was good.
I missed that part. I need to go back and watch that.
Tribute. That was good.
Everything was great.
I think it was good.
It was a lot of talk around what's that young man's name who kissed the other man on stage?
Lil Nas X.
Yeah, there was a lot of talk about that. I don't know if people were ready for it, but it's here. That's his thing. So
happy Pride. I thought it was good. I really enjoyed Jasmine Sullivan. Sorry, y'all. I got my Invisalign, so I'm like talking with like I have braces now.
Oh, you got straight.
So I enjoyed that. I didn't really, when they honor somebody, they usually take the mic and start performing. So I missed that element of Queen Latifah. How in the past. Well, I guess in her contract, she didn't have to. But like when they did Janet Jackson, when they did Prince, they always take the mic and put on a show. So I missed that element of the show. But other than that, it was good to see everybody out.
Yeah. It's almost makes you feel like things are normal.
I mean, where we are is very safe and, traveling, and I see a lot of families out. So I think everyone's still doing it safely. and I'm gonna be living a mermaid life. You saw that little post too? I'm living my best mermaid life. I'm gonna be at all kind of beaches the rest of the year. I'm every 2 weeks. I'm gone.
Oh, I thought you finna.
I was cooped up last year. No, Leah. See, I can't say stuff around y'all.
I ain't know what she meant.
Okay. Moving on.
Right.
What else is in the
We'll
news?
be watching for your mermaid life, girl.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. What else is in the news, Sylvia?
Bill Cosby is free.
Oh!
Did they find something wrong to release? Or didn't the defense find something wrong?
I believe it was some wrongdoing on the
what had happened was
they had already struck a deal, and then they went ahead and tried him. So
the prosecutor made a deal with him in the civil case. So they're like, hey, we'll never prosecute you, but you have to testify in the civil case. And so he talked about some of his processes for what he allegedly did in the civil case, because he had the promise of not getting prosecuted. Well, a new prosecutor came and said, nah, we're going to prosecute you. And they did. And the Supreme Court was like, no, that he should have never been prosecuted because this deal was already struck. Let him out of jail. So that's what happened.
Wow.
Yeah.
People have mixed feelings about that as well.
Yeah, and they should. And that's our legal world, which I'm glad I'm not a part of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, ladies, we are wrapping up June.
We had a fabulous June.
We did. We had a great series. We had a lot of great guests.
Our dads and mentors. Yes.
So we're wrapping up Men's Health Month, and I believe Dr. Sylvia has brought one more very special guest for us to talk about men's health, talk about mental health. So should we get into it?
I'm ready.
Let's get into it, y'all. Our guest tonight is a psychoeducator. We're going to have to ask him what that is exactly. He's an integrative and social psychologist specializing in the mental and emotional wellness of Black males, the Black family. He's a TEDx speaker, author, and he works, rests, and plays in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's get into it. Welcome, Dr. Kurt, to the Three Friends Talk stage.
Hey, Dr. Kurt.
Hey, thank you for having me. How y'all doing?
We're good. Thanks for being here.
Well. So glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm ready. Thank you for having me.
Yay!
Well, we are really excited. Now, Dr. Kurt, I usually like to play a game with our guests. So are you up for the challenge, sir?
Let's do it.
All right.
So this game, what you got?
Okay.
She got a black shirt that I don't have.
I thought you weren't into the propaganda of the Black Lives Movement. So
no, that is not what I said. Do not put propaganda and the Black Lives Movement together out of my mouth.
Okay.
I said what I said.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So this game is called This or That. Dr. Leah will be the timekeeper. She will put 30 seconds on the clock. So
see, we're together. We're gonna see how this goes tonight
because she's cheating and cutting the time short.
That's not true.
It is. You're not here, Sylvia. I'm watching her. Okay. So I see it now. All right. So I'm gonna ask a series of questions. You blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. So if we can fit in all the questions, our listeners will get to know you a little bit better. All right. So when I say go, that's when you blurt out the first thing that comes to mind. So what's happening?
Sorry.
It's a little bit of echo.
Sorry.
Are y'all trying to mess me up already?
I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm on ready.
And go.
Did you ask was he ready?
Dr. Curry, you ready?
Ready. I'm ready.
See, you was ready.
I need y'all to act right.
I'm
just because we're together.
I'm well behaved.
We don't even have a drink tonight.
Per usual.
He's ready, y'all. He is ready.
I do have my beautiful.
He is ready.
All right.
First thing that comes to mind, right? First thing that comes to mind. I got it.
He done forgot the instructions playing with y'all.
I'm ready.
All right. And go. iPhone or Droid?
Droid.
Suits or sweats?
Sweats.
Steak or seafood?
Neither.
What? That's sweet or salty?
Sweet.
Okay. Introvert or extrovert?
Both.
No. Staycation or vacation?
Both.
No, sir. Foot rubs or back massages?
Back massage.
Rich friend or loyal friend?
Loyal friend.
Love or money?
Love.
Put that off, Leah. Coffee, wine, or Hennessy?
Coffee, wine, or what?
Hennessy. Which one?
Coffee.
Okay. Now look, we got to go over these rules here, Dr. Kurt.
No, she got caught up.
Dr. Kurt, can you help us with this? Every time someone says something that's not this or that, she it shuts down for a second.
Wait a minute, Dr. Kurt.
So you saying neither
or extrovert, and you said both?
Yes.
What does that mean exactly?
I get it.
No. It's got to be one or the other, right?
I get it.
Elaborate, sir.
I mean, I like it both. I mean, I recharge personally, right? Like the spiritual definition. This is my definition of introvert and extrovert is where you derive your power from. Right? And where you choose to express it. Like extroverts usually derive it from intermingling with people, right, for the party. I derive mine in solitude before I go. I got to recharge personally and then go to the people. Right. But there are occasions where I got to show up in public and let the recharge and start from there. That's why I said that.
I normally call myself an introverted extrovert.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
It does.
Is that a similar description of what he said?
Right.
Isn't there a term for it though? I can't remember.
Ambivert. It's
called both of them.
Right. Exactly.
He's just agreeing with all of us. He's like, right.
Okay. So we talked about that one. Well, let's talk about the suits or sweat. If you wear neither, what do you wear, sir?
He said suits.
No, I said sweat.
He said sweats. You must be a vegetarian.
That's for you. That's for you to figure out. That's your game.
I got thrown off.
This your game.
So steak or seafood? That's the one you said neither.
Yeah, I'm vegan. I don't eat flesh.
Ah.
Well, I don't eat animal flesh.
I know now.
What?
What flesh do you eat if it ain't animal flesh? It's the flesh of the vegetable.
I'm just saying.
What flesh do you eat, sir? I need no.
Dinosaurs. He eats dinosaurs. We'll leave it at that.
You, Dr. Courtney.
I will stop messing with you, Dr. Kurt.
Come on with it. I love it.
Y'all a miss.
I'm gonna dissect this to the end. Okay.
You gonna
that was great. Thank you for playing.
It ain't me.
Okay, let me get into these questions. So, Dr. Kurt, we've done our research. You are very well accomplished, an author, a speaker, mental health advocate, emotional wellness expert. So what does a day in the life look like for you? That's a lot of hats to wear.
Right. So I normally do on a day in the life, normally one of three things. I'm usually doing one-on-one sessions, counseling sessions with individuals, couples, or families. I'm usually doing consulting work with organizations, or I'm usually doing some public speaking or some form of teaching. So I spend the majority of my time in those three areas.
We love it. And, well, I don't want to ask nobody else's question, so I'll turn it over to Leah.
Okay.
I was going to let you roll with it.
Okay, so you're a psychologist, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So when did you figure out that was the path that you wanted to take in life? Can you give us just a little rundown of your journey, a little bit of your background?
Right. So I actually started off in education. So this is my second career, right?
Oh,
I started off in grad and undergrad as an educator, right? I taught in public schools. I went from classroom teacher to educational consultant to school administrator. And then I walked away from education, which we have to talk on another podcast session. And then years later, I came back. This is my form of coming back to education, which is why I combine psychology and education as a psychoeducator. So what I found is since my early teaching days, I always had to make sure that my students and my teachers were ready to even be in position to receive education, right? There's a readiness that a lot of our people don't even have for various reasons. And so I find myself just sharing space with them from a psychological standpoint. So when it was time to choose my next career, I was like, let me see if I can combine all this previous education and student loan stuff and see if I can combine, make all this work for myself.
Okay.
I love it.
You typically, just from reading your bio and from reading, some of your social media, you specialize in mental health and emotional wellness of Black males. You focus on the Black family. So what made you want to, how did that become your focus?
Again, just dealing with families. I mean, mental health is a family deal, right? It's like education, right? It takes all of us. Very few people have been damaged as a result of not being in relationships. The damage comes from being in relationships. So it's important that we heal the entire family, right? We can't heal a person and then send them back to the same environment that damaged them, right? Right. And healing is through connection. So I find it very helpful to get into the families, to get into the couples, right? A mom, I get a call from a Black mom about a Black son every single day. And my first question is, who's your therapist? How's it going for you? And when they tell me they're not in therapy or they hadn't been, I was like, can't see your boy until I see you. I'm gonna rock with them. I've been working with Black boys for 30 years. What I need to know is what's going on in terms of dynamics.
Exactly.
Right. So it usually comes down to pair counseling whenever I'm blessed and fortunate enough to work with a mother and a son or a mother and a daughter. So the psychoeducation part is just, we got to hit the whole family, period. Wow. No exceptions to that, right? When one person is in therapy, that's because one person has exhibited the most outgoing symptoms that brought in other agencies. But let's be straight. It's like somebody going to jail in the Black community. Somebody go to jail. We all in jail. We all got to take the calls. We all got to, we all got to.
Everybody.
Mm-hmm. It impacts everybody, So I attack it from that point.
Yeah. And so just to piggyback off that, what happens when someone in the family doesn't want to come? So you're talking to the mom, right? Right? Because everybody's not going to be on the same page. So I see that just from what you're describing as being a challenge. You got son, you got mom talking. What if dad doesn't want to come? Right. What if one of the siblings doesn't want to come? And that's where a lot of the damage is coming from. So, you got everybody willing to participate, probably but the person that's causing a lot of the stuff. How do you deal with that?
It's a good question. So it's mostly the dad, right? Or mostly the male in there. And I ask the woman, because I usually get the call from a woman, whether it's a sister or a mom or a companion or wife. And I just ask her to have the gentleman give me a call. Just call or holler at me, right? I get it. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go when I first went. Just holler at me. He has to initiate his own call, but I'm not interested in giving him or talking a bit to it. I'm interested in having a call with him as it relates to some of his family members, whether he decided to come on board or not. So just holler at me, dude. Research.
So you have to find your own way to get through and communicate with them that they would receive it so they would feel comfortable.
And it's usually through connection. So the call will do that. Like, we're not even talking about you coming aboard. I'm just offering myself as a resource. And when you're ready, come holler at me, right? So it's not a whole, let me get you in, your wife say you're going crazy, all that. So just blah. And usually I could connect, right? I mean, I've been married. I got kids. I got grandkids. It's rare that a brother that we can't find nothing to connect on. So I just go into the connection. And even if it's not a right away, they usually come around. Sometimes it's months later. Sometimes it's years later. But when it gets really tough, they come around.
I love it.
I like how you change up the verbiage to relate to them. Like you're talking to them like a friend and not someone with a coat, or, you got the glasses at the tip of your nose, and writing down stuff and judge. I think that's
judging probably has a lot to do with it. Yeah,
hey, that's a big stigma as well. Like if they're gonna talk to somebody, they're gonna feel judged about it, right?
Yeah, right. Because this is dressed up for me, right? I usually wear t-shirts.
Oh,
and
he dressed up for us, y'all.
A denim shirt is dressed. A denim shirt is dressed for me, right? But usually, like you said, I meet them where they are, whether it's virtual in my office. I don't do the whole white coat thing. We just come in and relate. the funny thing is, most of the young men have come, they've already been inundated with labels in the school system.
Sure.
Right? They're looking for me to give them labels. I do absolutely no labels.
Yeah.
Very interesting. So I really I don't think we've had a male black man mental health professional on the show. So this is just dropping all kinds of gems and pearls. Thank you, Dr. Kurt, for that. And I know some people would say, oh, if I'm seeing the sun, I can't see you because that's a conflict of interest. So how do you, and then I know there is family counseling as well. So I guess, how does that make sense in the big old gumbo of things?
Right. It's really just a portion of family counseling, but people have their areas of expertise and their comfort level. They'll make up anything depending on who paying them, right? If the state paying them and they got to follow that, but if the family paying them, they're going to get in there and do the job because they know they don't eat unless they help families heal.
Okay, well,
but
there
that's
we
a
go.
different conversation,
though. There we go. Make it plain. Make it plain. Yeah.
So Dr. Kurt, our listeners are really engaged, and we have a question from Clint. He says, my son just purchased his first home, and ever since his purchase, he has been depressed and distant from family. I assume he's suffering from buyer's remorse. Any advice?
That's a great question. Buyer's remorse is a thing. Without knowing more of the particulars, oftentimes we do things with the intent of helping us feel better, and it doesn't, and that makes us even feel worse. So, we'll run out and buy some stuff, buy the car, buy the house with the hope that this is the thing. Trust me, I've been there, right? And then when it ain't, then it sort of sets in.
Like, why did I buy this? And I'm now more depressed with this and
you're locked in. Exactly. Yeah. It happens with marriage. It happens with kids. It happens with big purchases. It happens with enrolling in school. So yeah, buyer's remorse is a general term of that, but it sounds like that's it. And keep in mind, this is COVID, this is pandemic. We are going to feel this for the next few years. Without a doubt. We're still in it. Psychologically, we're still in it for sure.
So I know I asked a question earlier, but Dr. Sylvia mentioned this is our first time having, a black male as giving us advice about mental health. And we've interviewed several mental health professionals. So they've been, African-American women. We're all about protecting our health. So no one's really identified themselves as a psychoeducator, and so really define that, simplify that for us. Right. This is a question that we ask for all of our mental health professionals. How do you differ? How does your role differ from other mental health professionals, life coaches, therapists, psychiatrists?
Okay. Right. That's a good question. So I'll start with the term psychoeducator. That means I do mostly teaching in sessions or whenever I'm in families, more so than diagnosing. Right. Mm-hmm. I focus on giving them the tools and strategies so they can go back to their respective homes and heal themselves. And so my approach is more teaching. It's not about the mental health industry. It's not about me and my titles. It's about them. And it has to be hands-on, applicable tools that they can use like tonight, right? And so all of us are accustomed to teaching. We all been in school since pre-K. It's not a person on here who is not accustomed to sitting still and receiving information and then being supported on that, giving homework and things. I use the same strategy that all of us are accustomed to naturally so it doesn't become this big thing. Mm-hmm. So immediately I become a part of the family, right? Because I'm here to help, right? That's the first thing. And the other thing that sets me apart from other mental health is I actually healed myself, right? It's not about schooling for me. I could do it not. Yeah, I actually checked out for about 5 years. There's a TED Talk that gives my story. The difference is I can weave in my story. I could share space with you. I could assure you you're going to be okay, not because I sat in somebody's program, but because I've been there. And in a lot of ways, I'm still living there. So I'm self-healed. That's the difference. I'm self-healed. That means I get it when you've been in the bed for 3 months. I get it when it all came crushing down, when you thought about suicide, when the marriage left, the houses left, the cars left, both parents was dead, the jobs left. I lived that. It's not a game for me. So I get to share space with you as your co-human saying, I got it, and you're gonna be fine. So it's not well, let me think. Sounds like you got this. Nah, bro. That's why most therapists come to me, right? Now, I'm not suggesting that I'm the bane-all, but the therapists who
the therapists come to you.
They come to me like, bro, like, all right, give it to me. Like, I mean, yeah, like, how you get through it? That's the question. Tell me how you did it, and will you stick around long enough to show me how? Wow. How did you do it?
Wow, wow. That was just so
years,
rich.
You said.
It was more like 10. I'm being grateful. I started coming out at the second 5.
Wow.
Right? Well, it's a process. It's a process.
It is.
That's an eye opener. Yeah.
Yeah. I became a therapist in therapy. So the 5th therapist that I went to was a white guy, and I had went through 4 black ones previously that didn't provide me with what I thought was the support. A friend of mine talked me into going to one more therapist, so I went. White guy. I knew the game. I sat down, shared my spiel for about 30 minutes. At the end of the session, he says, "You ever thought about becoming a therapist?" And I'm like, "Dude, stop playing. What are you talking about, man? I'm not here for career counseling. I'm here because I need help." Right. And he was like, "No, seriously, hear me out." He said, "Look, I'm about to retire. I'm a middle-aged white guy. I've been seeing black males for 30 years. I can't reach them. I don't even think the current mental health industry can reach them. There's a uniqueness that only black men go through in this world. Everybody knows that." He said, "You really, really want to heal yourself? Get back, take the necessary classes, find out all the research. I'm not saying don't go to therapy. I'm just saying don't come back to me. Figure out how to heal yourself and then be that person for other black men." So, of course, I walked out of there. I was pissed, right? I was going through a tough time. I was done. I was like, all right. 3 days later, something just lifted off my spirit. I was like, I'd already dropped out of doctorate program about 7 years earlier. I was like, I had nothing else going on. I lost everything. My parents, my money, my marriage. I lost everything. I didn't have any. I just grabbed on. I was like, okay, well, I do know how to study in that. And it was that journey that I began, not only to heal myself, but to dedicate my life and my career to helping black men and black families.
Oh, wow.
We've never, journey. Yeah, I would say we've never had anyone just explain their process the way that you're saying it. Yeah. And I know that reaches someone. It might be someone out there right now listening that is going through it, that needs to go through it so that they can help somebody else.
Come on, please.
And I think the big takeaway is he went through his journey. He didn't have the people there for him, but he kept reaching out for help, and he got to where he needs. But we're so lucky now and blessed that we have Dr. Kurt. So you don't have to do it by yourself. Right. You can reach out and be guided. So don't think that you have to do it by yourself or go and re-enroll and start over in school. You got Dr. Kurt to help you on your journey. And that really lends its way to your book. It's called I Am the Solution, SOUL. 8 transformational approaches to turning your obstacles to opportunities. And just I thought the name of the book was I thought the name of the book was awesome, but just to hear your story, that just takes it to a whole nother level and is really rich. So you're often saying that you talked about kind of your processing, and it's kind of clear what it meant for you, but what does that mean for others? And what are you trying to convey to others that you are your own solution?
Right. So, you have the ability to heal thyself. You have the ability to heal thyself. It starts and ends with you. Now, of course, you need resources and support, but it all comes to you. I mean, there's statistics that say 70% of people who go to therapy see no changes anyway, right? Because of the way they approach it, right? So it has to come from you. Now, it depends on what you're going through in terms of how long, but once you are traumatized, which we all are, no exceptions, you have dedicated your life to recovery, whether you realize that or not. You are on a lifelong journey of recovering from something. Now, it ain't got to be a detriment, but we're often recovering from some trauma, mostly in childhood, but oftentimes later on in life. So what I did is I wrote a book on the 8 ways that I was able to do it, right? And it didn't happen right off. It's just my ways to get people to hope that you got to create and implement your own curriculum for living. Now that might involve other professionals, meds, new diet, new relationships. And so what I did is I sort of put forth this manifesto on you could do it. Not only have I done it, I'm still doing it in a lot of areas. And so I want to give people hope that you can do it, and it doesn't have to be as a result of your life come crashing down. You can just want not even better, just differently. So I said to remind people that it's from the inside out. Whether you gather all your resources or not, you still got to tap in, right? The wisdom is hiding right in that trauma, right in that pain is where the wisdom is. That ain't out there in the real world. That's inside of you.
Makes perfect sense.
Drop the mic. It's in you. It's in you, Dr. Courtney. It's in you, Dr. Leah.
It's in you, Dr. Sylvia.
It's in you, Dr. Kurt.
Please don't leave her out.
Thank you. See, you know what? We can end this right now. They finally got it after all these years. We went to school together, Dr. Kurt, and they still doing twinsy stuff and not triplet stuff. But I think they got it tonight.
I get it.
We always do triplet stuff.
Not true, Dr. Kurt.
I can't tell on this call, but
please don't let her influence you.
I'm new.
Don't believe her.
He can only go by the facts and what he sees.
Back to
the question.
Thank you. So the first thing that caught me about your bio, the first line that you do culturally based, non-colonized therapeutic. You have non-colonized therapeutic approach to counseling and therapy. Tell me about these non-colonizers. I just need to know about it
because I think I know what it means, but make sure we got the right definition.
So what I mean is westernized mental health is non-applicable to Black folks, not only in this country, in this world, right? So I stray away from the industry, the mental health industrial complex, who has done very little research on Black. Now, sociology has done a lot of research on Blacks, but the mental health, the psychology, whole different game. And so I don't feed that to Black people, right? I do no clinical diagnosis. It's not necessary. I mean, it does more damage than not. You don't have to diagnose people to help heal them, right? Now, a small percentage where folks they need some intense help, don't get me wrong, but that's a small percentage. Most of the people are just emotionally distraught because they've been traumatized for so long, right? And so trauma doesn't, the typical white trauma, the typical everyday westernized approach to healing trauma doesn't necessarily work with Black folks, right? You're going to heal them on the trauma of being poor, right? As a white person, or you're going to heal them on the trauma of being poor and what it's costing them to be poor as a result of racism. Right? You're going to hear them on the approach of racism when they got a PhD and now they are traumatized because of microaggressions in the workplace, right? Where that research at, right? See, those are the things that the general mental health industry
doesn't cover.
Can't help us with that.
It's so much more to the bigger picture.
It is. So I put people up that front, like if you think you're going to come to the office and have me sitting on the other side talking this mumbo jumbo, I'm not your guy. I'm not. Tell me what's really going on with you and your family, and let's get to it.
Absolutely.
And I just like on a personal note, once again, we get back to the labels. I have a Black son. Dr. Courtney has a Black son. And, they're Black boys to us. They're our babies. But people see them so differently. I remember when my son was younger, we've seen Dr. Courtney's son coming in and out of the room. My son was exactly the same, maybe even more hyper back then. And I had someone come to me and tell me, he needs to be on medicine. You need to take him somewhere.
This is at church, right?
Yes. Right. You know, the main place where I'm going to get some love and receive some love. If somebody comes to me and says, your son, he needs to be put on medicine. And I'm looking at her like, what did he do?
Right.
Besides be a 2 or 3-year-old. But, you know, I'm getting back to what you're saying is I'm not going to diagnose you like coming in.
And put this label on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why?
And
because the person who said it is uncomfortable? That's all it comes down to.
Exactly.
Really?
Exactly. So that's what we're not going to do.
Right.
So
look at Longville now, but quiet and just sitting and do his thing.
I mean, just the best babysitter.
Right.
So, okay.
That's what he doing.
So as we're talking about a lot of things going on this year, we're trying to get back to some normalcy. You know, so much has happened since 2019. So as we get back to normal, a little bit of normal, a lot of people may be triggering, you know, for whatever they're going through, whatever they've experienced through.
Having to go back into the office, maybe triggering. Back into
the office, yeah. They're. I'm having to talk about it with my department of 300 plus health professionals, and you know, most of them don't want to hear it, but you know, it's got to be talked about. The disclaimer was, at the time I sent you home, that you may have to one day go back. So where's the surprise? Anyway, I digress. So what tools have you been sharing, you know, with your clients to cope with the, you know, new normal?
So one of the things that I share with people of all walks is you got to turn up the level of self-acceptance, right? All of us have been experiencing triggers, but the old normalcy had us hijacking our nervous system so that we didn't have to be present with them. So being at home for a year and a half or a year has exposed all of us, no exceptions, right? And so now people are struggling with this whole notion of, can I go back out into the workplace knowing what I now know about who I am, because I've spent so much time with myself and I'm not sure I like everything that came up for me, right? Not that they don't want to go back to work. They are simply afraid. They don't think that they're equipped, because we did a lot of hiding. People hide. People spend the majority of their time. They hide. They hide behind the job in the careers, right? And then they have to go home and stay home with a spouse, and they realize we ain't even checking for each other. I don't even like you like that, right? Or I don't like my kids.
I don't like my kids.
I don't like my kids. That's a real thing. I love them. I don't like them. Right?
That's a big real statement. Thing. I love you. I just don't
like you. Yeah, because when you got little bodies around that you got to feed and put a roof over, and they trigger you, how you gonna like that? How you gonna like that? You got to be taught how to like that. You got to be taught how one of your babies came out your womb. Yeah, you got to be taught that. You love them, but you don't like how they make you feel. And so a lot of that goes on. So I say everybody need to be talking to somebody who can hold space and give them tools from a mental health standpoint, so they can go back and show up differently, because they will be required to show up differently.
Yeah. So the takeaway is everybody needs to be talking to somebody in order to cope. And I talk with them all the time.
No.
I
am not a mental health professional.
I'm going to continue to talk to y'all.
No, you can continue to talk to us, but also seek a professional.
I'm talk to y'all.
I'm gonna tell you, Dr. Kurt wants you to call him and have your credit card ready. That's what I'm gonna tell
you. Dr. Kurt, I think they tired of listening to me.
Been tired.
Dr. Kurt said, "Come on."
I got
so this has been quite enlightening, but we always here at Three Friends Talk, we're about health, friends, and fun. So what does Dr. Kurt do for self-care? I know you said you have to pour into yourself. What helps you do that?
So I just developed an entire life around self-care, right? I don't want to really do no real work my whole life. So I like to take it easy, right? I do a lot of physical activity, a lot of working out, right? I mean, I still go out and eat, have a couple drinks, but I really like working with wonderful people as part of my healing, sharing space and really being able to show up with experience and expertise as part of my self-care, going to the gym, riding my bike, spending quiet time, meditating, prayer, staying connected, meeting with my guy groups. I got a couple groups. I mentor So I got some mentees that I can stay connected to. Go out and date every now and again. So I spend a lot of quiet time. So I just did a whole life of self-care, so I don't really have to make it a thing.
I love it.
I need to show up as my best for y'all and not give y'all the rest after I've been exhausted.
Yes.
We like that. We're going to hashtag that. Don't be surprised if you see it on Courtney and Leah's shirt, okay?
She is cold, shady.
That's good. If you're not following Dr. Kurt on Instagram, he's always posting. I truly believe this because I followed him for a while. He's always posting his workout videos, and I think at one point he was meeting people for coffee just to talk about things. So he's really living the life that replenishes him and gives so much back to the community. So if you're not following him at I am Dr. Kurt on IG, please do. It will be a wealth of information and resources.
Thank you, Dr. Sylvia. I appreciate that so much.
Indeed. So before we wrap up, there's got to be something else on your radar. What's next for Dr. Kurt?
That's a good question, Dr. Leah. What's next? I want to travel the world, right?
Oh,
yes. We traveling.
Yeah, I want to get this passport back out there, and I want to talk to some folks, preferably some people of color around the diaspora, and Central America.
If you have a travel group or you want us to participate, we will join the travel group. We all about joining everybody travel groups.
I'm so open.
Leah's a travel agent.
Okay, let's do it for real.
Leah.
That's on my list, just to kind of move around for real. I just want to. As the world is opening back up, kind of move around and see what's going on. I think if nothing else, being shut in. I mean, the world was kind of shut in, but being shut in, I realized, like, man, is this it? Is the U.S. All y'all got? This is all y'all got? So, my kids are grown now, so I'm thinking, like, man, like, let me move around, see where I may want to park a few months out of the year. So that's what I'm.
Once you renew your passport, what's going to be the first place that you want to go?
Well, I got it ready. The first place, I don't know. I want to go to. I haven't been to the continent. I had plans.
Oh, wow.
It just didn't happen for a number of reasons. I had so that's my first trip, right? To step on the continent. I had some interesting reasons on why that didn't happen, but nonetheless, I'm ready and it's getting done. So that's the first place.
Okay.
And then we'll take it from there. I'm open.
Which country?
I don't know, Ghana. I don't know, somewhere.
I'm the same way. Like, I don't know which country I want to venture to first.
Belize.
No,
he said the continent. You know what?
Oh, I'm sorry.
She ain't listening.
What you over
So yeah, I don't know if I want to do Ghana or if I want to do. I sent one of my friends to not South Africa, to Ethiopia, and he loved it. Like he wants to go back, and we're planning a trip. I think he's gonna do a couple of countries and do like the Nile River cruise and
Egypt.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
We're going to Egypt. Yeah.
We're gonna do it all. Ready.
For real.
Okay.
I want to go to Benin, the Paris where a lot of my people are from.
Really?
Well, that's what 23andMe says, but then you wait a month and it'll say something different. So, they don't have a lot of information on us. So.
Okay.
Mine say I'm from France. So
I have not done my ancestry.
I haven't either.
I'm from France and the Ivory Coast.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
I haven't done mine yet, though. I've heard a few interesting outcomes from that ancestry.
Yeah. And then we don't know what they're doing with the data they have too. So you just have to be careful about that as well.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about folks I know in the Black community. Their parents done moved, their parents done passed on, they trying to do their ancestry. They're like, them wasn't your parents. You got to figure out where your tree is, though. That's a whole other conversation. One of my best friends told me that.
Wow.
We should do it on the show. Leah was saying we should do it on the show and share it with everybody.
That would be good. That would be good.
Absolutely.
We have another question for you, Dr. Kurt.
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Okay. My father.
Just before we get, he can't give personalized advice because it's not a patient doctor relationship. So anything he says is just general information.
Thank you for the disclaimer, Dr. Sylvia.
You're welcome.
My father was an alcoholic when he died at the age of 48.
I have been since the age of 19.
19, I'm sorry, I read it wrong. Trying my best not to be like him. I'm 58. Everything I do associate with him. How do I get past trying not to be like him?
Great question. Do a lot of work with men and their fathers. So a couple of things. One of the things that's important is to identify the wounds that are associated with not only fatherhood but motherhood, right? Oftentimes we fail to factor in mom, or the one that we spent the most time with. The one we spend most time with does the most damage, right? The one that's afar or has some extenuating circumstances do different damages, but nonetheless, we all are wounded by both parents, whether they were present or not. So the first step is to identify some of those wounds on how you're showing up. Most of it has to do with you avoiding things or overdoing things. And so just reading, the question below, I'm trying my best not to. The energy you assign trying to not be your dad is bringing you closer to the things that you claim you don't want to be. If you could focus on just being you and what that looks like and then support, then you'll have a better chance. Now, there's some things that we all inherited, some DNA things, some conditioning, yes. One of the ways that I teach Black men is to find the 3 best things that you got from your dad, whether he taught you directly or not, just 3 game changers, and focus on that to sort of lighten the energy so that you can start healing, right? Of course, most people I know got 2,000 things that they can hold against their dad, but they don't spend time saying, man, I got that from my dad. I got my love for music from my dad, my this, that. If you can dedicate your life on honoring, because that's a part of you, 23 of that is part of you. If you can honor that part of your dad, that is a way of healing and soothing yourself as you do your mental health work. So start with 3 things. Like, I got this from my dad. I remember my dad told me this. I remember I saw him do that. Love for cars or whatever. We all have them, right? And just really, really meditate, pray, and spend time with yourself on that. See how that impacts your life and sort of soften some of that energy. Then you'll be able to take your next best move.
I love it. That's so practical. What's something that you got from your dad, Dr. Kurt?
Oh, wow. I just had this conversation. So my dad gave me advice. He gave me one advice on where I should go to school. He gave me another advice when I was about to get married. And then when I was around 3rd grade, he gave me the advice to take Japanese. The thing about my dad
in 3rd grade?
In 3rd grade.
Devin going to 3rd grade. I'm going to tell him take Japanese.
Yeah. So my dad, we had an estranged relationship, but I didn't listen to him. So he believed him, and he thought he had this notion of being different. The challenge is I never received him I didn't get this until he passed away like 70 or 80 years ago, because unhealed ears don't listen, right? Mm-hmm. So the person you think hurt you, well, you don't hear him because you unhealed. So it wasn't until I had to forgive myself on how I showed up for him being just who he is. I started to heal and hear differently. And I used the very thing I shared, man, those 3 game changers that really altered my life, right? That really altered I wasn't present to him when he asked them. But when I did this exercise, I was like, oh, man, I missed all that. And it still serves me well.
Did you take Japanese?
Yeah, I took Japanese for like 9 years from 3rd grade till 11th grade. Okay. Just because, but he was the one that told me that. I went to a language academy, so they was like, take French, take Spanish. My dad was like, nah, everybody doing that. Why don't you do Japanese? Like, he was like, just do different. What's the numbers? Just ichi-ni.
Ichi-ni, chanchi. Yeah.
Right.
She's like, yeah. What you been watching?
Sierra.
Okay.
You know you're in the class.
You got it.
Oh, wow.
Thank you.
Thank you for encouraging her. You made her so proud.
You validated her.
Right.
I got my ability to talk to anybody from my dad. That's one thing I did get. And I always don't want to talk to people, but I can find some way to connect with anybody. What about you, Bopsy and Topsy?
You go first, Bopsy.
Oh, Bopsy, you Topsy.
Topsy.
Okay. What's the question?
Never mind. We can just wrap up.
I'll answer.
What do we get from my dads?
Yes.
One thing, just one.
Oh Lord.
I did not mention this on the show when I had my dad, but the motto that my dad drilled in me from a very young age,
and then
instilled in me,
us.
I passed it on, and we lived it to this day. He told me in elementary school, he says, work your butt off now so you can sit on it later. And when he said that, at the time, I must have been like 4th or 5th grade. And I was like, what do you mean, like, work my butt off now? He was like, if you work hard now, all the way through, your grade school to 12th grade, you work your butt off in college. Whatever you want to be, you work your butt off in your 20s. I promise you, you're just going to be sitting down making money the rest of your life. Do it now. Mm-hmm. Don't feel like you gotta, get out of school, take a break, then go back and work harder. Just get it out the way now. And I promise you, you'll be all right. And do you know I got my doctorate at 23 and ain't looked back since?
Oh, wow.
We all did, but that's how we do.
That's it.
Okay, Dr. Leah.
Pharmacists matter.
That's great.
But that's what I got from my dad. Yeah.
That is real good. That's real good.
I think one thing that I got from my father.
That black boy behind y'all.
Come say hi, Devin.
Dr. Devin.
Hey, I'm a black boy advocate.
You done got in the show. Go on.
I'm a black boy advocate. I rise hard for my young black man.
He gone. He gone next door with our own boy.
He going with the boys.
I think my frugalness. They laugh at me and they call me the old lady, and they say I don't venture out to spend a lot of money, and it's true. My frugalness and my ability to negotiate. Like, I don't want to hear the first offer. Let's talk about something else.
A negotiator.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, you ain't gonna sell me for $60. How about $30? And then we meet in the middle.
So we can talk about it.
That's it. I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this has been awesome.
Well, before you go, Dr. Kurt, we definitely know that there are a lot of people that want to connect with you. So please let our listeners know what's the best way to reach you.
So I'm all online. Of course, Instagram, as Dr. Sylvia said, I am Dr. Kurt. I'm on Facebook as Dr. Curtis D. Jasper. I'm on Twitter as Dr. Curtis D. Jasper. You can Google me. That number out there comes directly to me. So whatever number you get, or you can go Psychology Today. Number of ways. Put me in there. I ain't hard to find. I like to show up for people who are looking for me.
Awesome. Well, this has been a really, really great show. I had a lot of fun. Thanks for blessing the Three Friends Talk stage. And you're going to have to come back and talk to us again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready. Thank y'all so much. I have never been on a platform with three beautiful sisters in my entire life on this online.
Thank you so much.
Never. So this was a treat for me. I hope y'all feel with me saying that, but it has been a stone cold pleasure. Please invite me back. Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you. We
I
definitely
see y'all on the online social media space.
For sure. And Dr. Courtney's in Atlanta. So, like I said, she's going to have her credit card ready. We might have to drop her off, but,
Call me, Dr. Courtney.
All right. This is a great way to wrap up June for Men's Health Month. So please, everybody, definitely reach out to us if you have any other questions, and let us know if you want us to talk more about it later. You can catch us tomorrow night as well, right? On Freely TV.
Oh, yeah.
Channel 109 every Thursday night, 10 p.m. Eastern. So we hope to see you guys watching tomorrow night too. But we'll be back next Wednesday.
Yeah.
Right.
And
thank y'all so much.
If you like the content, you'd love to buy us a coffee.
Oh, yes. We need coffee in the morning. Please send us a coffee.
Dealing with this one right here, I definitely need some. I'm going to need some right now.
I agree.
See y'all later.
All right. Bye,
Good night.
Bye, Dr. Kurt. Bye, friends.